What's up, guys? It's Finn here with an action figure review for the brand new Revoltech Amazing Yamaguchi Moon Knight figure. I have not done a action figure review here on YouTube in probably like 6 years, maybe more. And so, if I'm bringing one back, it is for a very special figure. If you've been watching content on my channel lately, you guys know how much I love Amazing Yamaguchi, and Moon Knight is one of my favorite Marvel characters, and this figure looks absolutely incredible, so I had to pull out all the stops for this guy and let you guys know what I think, because I'm not gonna lie, most people probably aren't gonna see this, but I would like to have my feelings documented. So first thing, I have not opened this figure at all, just only cut the tape right up here, but I'm not a huge fan of the Amazing Yamaguchi boxes as of late. They look clean, they look nice, but they don't have as much character as the old comic book panel ones do. We got a really beautiful image of Moon Knight right there. We got the name, we got the company. We got a couple more photos right here, and I'll definitely talk more about the figure when I open it up, but the costume looks so slick. And then we have all of these lovely beauty shots of Moon Knight on the back with all the accessories right down here. And wow, I am so excited to get this guy out of the package. A great shot right there. Got some stuff on the bottom, and we got the logo on the top. So without further ado, guys, let's get this guy open. So fresh out of the package, this guy looks insane. Definitely a little bit bigger than I expected in the best way. You got all the accessories laid out here in the plastic tray. You get a great Revoltech stand. Love me some Revoltech stands. You got his bow staff, you got his boomerangs, and then you got some cloak pieces. I'm really excited to open this guy, so let's do it. As you guys can see here, we have 5 different sets of hands besides the fisted hands, and these things look awesome. They've sculpted on these ridges on the bottom of his hands, and they also have sculpted in these, the Moon Knight boomerangs right into his fingers for the throwing hands. The sculpted circles on top of his knuckles are so cool. It kind of looks like a brass knuckle type thing, but really awesome. And the gestures with these hands are really cool. And then we got 2 alternate face sculpts. These ones look really expressive. You got a really scary looking scowling face, and then you also have kind of like a surprised angry face. Really like both of these. I didn't get the exclusive that came with the darker face sculpt, unfortunately, but these ones are still amazing. Got these cloak pieces. The boomerangs and bow staff pieces look really nice and are painted really well. The boomerangs have this sparkly texture on them. The figure also comes with these clips to be able to store his batons on his back, which is really cool. And just taking a look at the figure in the packaging right now, wow, the detailing is so nice, where the fabric has this sparkly sheen to it, which is really cool, and then the armor pieces have this matte gray finish, which looks really nice. Some people might think it's just a plastic color, but you can definitely tell that this is painted. Overall, detail-wise, Revoltech really knows what they're doing, and they know how to make an impression right out of the box. And here is the Fist of Khonshu out of the packaging, looking absolutely spectacular. I was very surprised by a few things on this figure, which I'm going to touch on in a minute, but just as a figure, like a statue, look at how gorgeous this silhouette is. It is so easy to get him into a nice vanilla pose, so I do not want to hear a single person say that Revoltech figures are hard to get into vanilla poses. This comes right out of the box looking this good. I mean, this would look amazing in any type of Marvel display. I know some people don't mix lines, but come on. Look at this guy. The detail is gorgeous. I really got to give it to Revoltech that the paint detailing on this is really subtle, but looks really nice. I touched on it earlier, but the silver for the fabric and then the matte gray for the armor is not a choice that I maybe would have thought of, but it looks so good. And I'm really glad they didn't do a plain silver all throughout the figure's body, because the Marvel Legend did that, and I think it looks a little bit too shiny. And I know Moon Knight has had a plethora of different costumes in the past, but I felt like the silver could just be a little bit gaudy. And so the fact that they went with almost this slate gray looks really, really nice. It just looks so good just standing still, and I think a lot of that has to do with this cape. Now, I was nervous about this cape because I've actually never purchased a Revoltech figure that has a cloth cape, but they really did a great job with this one because they use this material. It's almost like a canvas material. It feels really sturdy and allows for it to stay in some pretty compelling poses. So off the bat, I mean, it has 1 wire on the left, 1 wire on the right, and then 1 wire in the middle, and look at that. Automatically just stays right up. Like, that is really nice. I know a lot of other import companies have used more of a flexible fabric, which might work for some figures, but I really like this one for this figure. I'm really happy the white of the cape was able to match the white plastic all around, because as you'll see in some other Marvel Legends that I'm going to bring out, that's not always the case, and so it makes this plastic piece actually look like it's a part of the cape. Like, looking at it through this lower quality video screen, you can't really tell, at least from where I'm standing, where the plastic begins and where the fabric ends. And I think that's a really great job on Revoltech's part, because the plastic capes were just not working. They are just not good looks, and I do not think they work well on figures. But this cloth cape, I mean, it doesn't really impede any motion at all. Like, he's able to really stretch it out there. Like, and to bring it out, like, come on, that's incredible. And then looking at the detail all throughout the rest of the figure, the utility belt looks really nice. I don't know if this is exactly accurate to the current run. I've only read a few issues, but I love that he has the moon symbol on the pouches of his utility belt, and all of these ridged armored pieces look so sick. Something I'd be worried about is if these really cool armor pieces on his abs would impede into articulation, but from my experience so far, it has not messed with it at all. And then pulling up his arm, you have this beautiful detailing all throughout his sides and his back where he has these sculpted armor pieces. And then this sculpted spine piece, it's pretty incredible. You'll see a lot more of the silver paint on the back rather than the front, but it looks super nice. One thing I will say though, is it feels like his feet are just a little small. Maybe that's just me, maybe my head is busted, but I feel like compared to how big the figure is, even his hands, his feet feel a little bit tiny. The paint on the chest symbol looks really great, and then you come up to the head sculpt and you have this beautiful silver paint on the face, as well as having this blue detail on the eyes, as well as the further up the face you go, the darker the head sculpt gets, and that is just an incredible detail, so that no matter how he's posed, it still looks like the cloak is giving him a shadow on his face. And just to talk about the cloak, they nailed the shape for this. Even better than the Marvel Legend, I love that you have the very sharp point at the end, and as you turn the figure around, the silhouette of the head sculpt just looks amazing. One thing I don't really think I like very much on this figure is this neck piece. Looking at the articulation, you start with the head, like I was saying, it moves up a fair amount. Sorry, I'm trying to show you guys without the cape. Looks down, not very much at all. Side to side, works pretty well. Has that nice rocker a little bit. Not that great, actually. It's okay. Then you have the shoulder joints. They have nice moving in and out, which lends to some great range for when you kick his arms forward. Look at that. That is pretty great. But I will say also, these joints right in here feel a little bit tight inside of the armpit. Feels a little bit tight in there, so I'd really be careful. Maybe I'll hit that with some oil or something, but it feels pretty tight, and I definitely don't want to snap that. But staying down here on the arm, you have a nice bicep joint right here. Bicep swivel goes out pretty far. You also have this elbow joint that goes in and it also turns a little bit. You also have this elbow joint that goes in and also turns a little bit, not a ton. I really wouldn't mess with it that much because you have these pieces right here that are kind of hindering it. And then you have the wrist motion that you'd expect, goes up and down. You can turn it so you can have it go whatever way you like. But yeah, that works great. Going back up here to the abs and the chest, can go in this far on the top part, and then using this waist joint right here, goes in that far. That is amazing. Look at that. Looking down at his feet, basically. Gorgeous. And then goes from side to side as well. Kind of goes all the way around. His legs move out that far. Pretty great. And then it goes up this far, which is honestly pretty great, thinking about how much armor pieces are on here. And then it twists up here as well, goes out, and then it has the bend at the knee right there, pretty much the full way. Doesn't have a rotation right up here. I don't think this is a joint right here. I'm not really going to test it, but it doesn't really feel like this twists. Yeah, I don't think so. And then this foot joint is pretty good. Goes down really far, so if you're trying to have him like in that type of pose, it looks good. Doesn't really kick forward that much, so it's not bad. Has a rocker right there, which is pretty good. And then a great toe joint. This thing is almost too loose, like that's how well it works. So you can have him in a lot of great poses. Overall, articulation, I mean, Revoltech knocked it out of the park as always. This figure moves like a dream. Just a few little things like tight joints. We'll hold this thing back for you. But overall, if you're looking for an articulated Moon Knight figure, this is absolutely the best ever made, in my opinion. Something I didn't touch on is that this thing also seems to be on a peg, so this can articulate as well, which is pretty nice. So if you're trying to turn the bicep, you can kind of move it out of the way a little bit, or maybe move it closer to it to make it articulate better. I don't really know, but the articulation is just nice to have in general. And then this isn't really articulation, but the bendy cape is just a bendy wire, and it moves very well. Here's the amazing Yamaguchi next to the Marvel Knights Marvel Legend. Here he is next to the classic Moon Knight figure from Marvel Legends, which is the latest Marvel Legends offering from Moon Knight. Here he is next to the Marvel Legends Kingpin and the Marvel Legends Daredevil, as well as a kit-bashed Marvel Legends Punisher, Mafex Spider-Man with a custom head sculpt, and of course next to a Hasbro Black Series Stormtrooper figure. As you guys can see, this guy has a great height compared to other lines, and compared to something like the Marvel Legends Moon Knight, I mean, come on, it's not even close. If you're a fan of well-sculpted, well-painted, highly articulated Marvel figures, then this guy is a no-brainer in my opinion. Easily one of Revoltech's best offerings in years, and probably one of my favorites from them of all time. It is absolutely so much fun to play with. I cannot put him down, and I'm so excited to get shooting. And thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys have been enjoying my content lately. If there's any figure or line you guys would like to see me talk about, or something different you'd like to see in a video like this, please let me know in the comments. Follow me on Instagram at FinnAiden, and hopefully you'll subscribe and stick around because I plan on making a lot of new stuff soon. Thank you guys so much for checking this video out, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.